Old Banters. We're here with Jeff Zimbalist, one of the writer and directors of the Two Escobars, which is an ESPN 30 for 30 film, which is also here premiering at the Tribeca Film Festival. Now, Jeff, talk to us about how you actually got on this project and what made you and your brother kind of explore the topic.
Well, we were already working in Colombia, and we had developed a certain network there. We were approached by ESPN for the 30 for 30 series. It was an honor. They really wanted a story from Latin America to make the series a bit more diverse, and we put out feelers. And a friend of ours named Nick Sprague came to us with this concept of telling the parallel stories of Andres Escobar and Pablo Escobar. And his question was, why has this never been done before? He didn't quite understand because there were so many links and so many overlaps between the two. And we quickly found out in going to Colombia that not only was it a taboo subject, it was also a very dangerous subject for a lot of Colombians to talk about. And so it was a process of a year of developing relationships and developing trust with people to get the kind of access that we did. And ultimately there was a lot of interviews where people opened up to a point where it was actually, we felt in talking to Colombians in the edit that it was too dangerous for them, that it incriminated them or endangered them. And there's certain stories that we did not include in the film. It was important to us, having fallen in love with Colombia, to not just tell a negative story as most mainstream media does, but also to build in a certain celebration of the passion of Colombians, of the hopes, and hopefully of a country that's on the rise and not the fall.
It's very interesting. Were there at any point during the shoot and the research that you actually did fear for your own safety?
It's different in Colombia than with my last film, Favela Rising, where I was in a slum in a war zone. There, it's war journalism, and you know what the danger is, the bullets, right? And so if there's an attack, you go hide, and there's no mastermind. There's no, there's no bigger plot. In Colombia, it's not that literal. I mean, the warnings that they give you is that if people are unsatisfied with the way that you're representing certain issues, or if you mention the wrong person at the wrong time, then it could be sabotage, it could be kidnapped. Wow. So in fact, the danger is more the fear. It's your imagination of it. And I felt much more afraid sometimes in Colombia than I did in a war zone in Brazil.
Just the straight unknown.
It's the unknown that's the scariest thing. It's Edgar Allan Poe versus Stephen King. But what ultimately what you come away with is that nothing happened, and that Colombia has come a really long way in the past 15 years since the time of our story. They've become much safer. The experience of being in Colombia is not different from the experience of being in any other major city in the world. And though you still hear stories about the countryside and stories about the periphery of the cities, it actually, if you look statistically at it, has cut its murder rate in half. Wow. Colombia really is on the rise, and we're proud of that. We're excited for them, and it was important to us. We felt a responsibility, because we developed these relationships with Colombians, to make sure that we weren't just representing a hotbed of violence and corruption, and that's not what Colombia is. I hope people leave the theater feeling that Colombia is a great place.